last month I gave you an update. I told you we had an ace, we had a couple aces in the hole. We really can talk about it, and the cat's out of the bag now, so I can get something to the mic. But we all know that the complete social and economic and cultural disaster and health issue this is going to bring our county. This high-speed rail is going to be, it's not going to be elevated, it's going to be on a elevated dirt, and it's going to be a tall fence, electrical wire, no crosses. And they told us very few under crossings we're going to get. So, and we all know the impact that's going to affect us. So what we did as a team, I like to recognize our team because many people have helped us, and I'll mention in a minute, but the four of us who've been working on it diligently is Ken Coe, Morris Dixon, and Bill Lee, Bill Sand, he just left. And the four of us have been working hard, believe me. And we found out down in South Texas how they stopped the Texas Trans Corridor is they found a little niche in the law, I guess you'd say, and they found out that not only can we have a cause, we can elect what we basically call sub-cause. And it just takes two municipalities or a county and municipality to create it. And they were able, and when you get that power, you're now equal, you sit at a table, eye to eye, you're 50-50 with the powers that be, and you can call every state agency on the carpet. And that's what they did down there, and they shot holes all through the environmental impact. And environmental, understand, is more than just, frogs and snakes and fleas and weeds, it's about the, the makeup of the density of the population, that affects everybody. So we kept this under wraps because we know the big cog, this is the most powerful cog in Texas right here, North Central Texas Council of Governments. They've sold us out. They voted 2 toll roads coming in, and it might be a third one they're talking about, and the 2 high-speed rails. They support it. They're behind it. They could care less. They're going to roll right over Dallas County. So we found this law that we can actually, in a sense, create this government agency. And so we've been quiet about it, but now last night Palmer came on board. We've already given a presentation to Ennis. They're coming on board. And today, Ferris finally, we've got to work them one at a time. And Ferris today contacted us. We're going to meet with the mayor and the city manager. And they're all excited. They want to come on board.
You mean the city, when you say like Ferris, the city of Ferris, city of Ennis?
City, yeah, all 3 of them. Ferris, Ennis, Palmer, and Ferris. And that's where the first high-speed rail's coming through, as you know, in the county here. The other one's coming down the east side. We'll work that next.
West side.
The west side, excuse me. We're going to work that next. East-west. But hey,
That's why he has me helping. I just go along east and west.
You know direction.
Right.
So,
Left and right.
so they're coming on board, and once we create this, we are going to have some power in this county, and we know the COG is not going to like us. They're going to threaten these towns. I already told them they're going to come down on you. They're going to say you're not going to get this from us, you're going to get that from us. But the cities we've all made presentations to, they all said, COG has done nothing for us. They've done nothing for this county. So now we're going to create our own legally by law. And it's a rare opportunity we can do this, and we are going to give them a run for the money. And then, and we've been also sending in under statute law, asking for specific information on this. And when and in July, they prepared this thing. I knew what happened last time, and now they're just shoving it as fast as they can. They're coming at us. In July, they're coming out with the impact study, and we figure that's when they're going to file, if not sooner, for their federal certificate. And when they do, the TxDOT says, you can't stop them. But we know through our new government agency we're creating that we in fact can call them on a carpet. And that's what we did last time, and shoot holes all through their impact study and environmental study. And that's where we're going to get them. We're already ahead of the game. And it's been a learning process, hasn't it? It's been a lot of work. But I tell you what, it's been exciting. Just coming up with something like this, sitting down and creating a different idea and getting all these cities on board, and they're excited, and we're all looking forward to the fight when it comes. We just caught word yesterday. Charlie Hatfield called me and said there's a gentleman he just talked to up the line here that said that they're already putting the groundwork in for the high-speed rail. These people are that confident they're going to get it. And when they come in, and so now they came up with this letter saying, oh well, the Federal Railroad Administration recommends that we use the utility routes. Well, I sat down and went through the whole, Google looked at the whole utility routes in this county, and they all go like this. 205-mile-an-hour train is not going to do that. So it's just, they're just making it sound good, but the Federal Railroad Administration said recommend, didn't say you shall or you will. And they're going to have the right, eminent domain laws in Texas for railroad is is the most liberal. They can go right through this town and they can afford to buy the land. They can do whatever they want.
You might mention that they're also, they've already got bids out, soliciting proposals from people that acquire right of way through.
Right, yeah, and they're starting to do bids on right away for land too. So they're serious about this, and we're serious about fighting.
One additional comment is the government section 391 entity that Marty's referring to. It isn't just to, for us to use as a tool to stop the high-speed rail. I mean, that is one of the purposes for it. It also allows those communities to have a greater voice in economic development opportunities for the community. So we title it Protecting Your Community. It's a way that the local people have more say in what's going to happen to the community, the school districts, and so on. Because one of the aspects of this would probably require the school district lines to be redrawn, bus routes to change, potentially new school may be required. If you don't have a high school on one side, you do on the other. So there are a lot of other implications that have not been taken into consideration, and that's what we're looking at challenging as part of that economic impact statement. For the different,
There's more that can be done. There's more
You've
that
done a
they,
good job getting organized.
oh yeah, I mean, there's more that this,
Challenging.
I didn't want to give the number away, but now, yeah, it's called it's Texas Code Law 391. It establishes a regional planning commission. That's what the COG is. They're a regional planning commission, and they're all over the state. And they're arrogant and they're powerful. Well, we can do sub-regional. That's exactly what we're doing. And we're gonna do those 3 cities, and they might want to keep it to themselves. And I know Commissioner Perry's here, and we figure we've already, I think we can probably get the county on board. We figure we got 3 commissioners that would support it also, and bring the county into it, and then some other communities, and bring the whole county on board. And then that gives us a whole fight. I mean, we've got them on the carpet. We can give them such help, you know, and even if we lose, we're gonna make them work for it. Yeah. Oh,
Marty, do you know of any other counties that may share a very similar mindset with you
Yes.
that you can ally with?
yes, there's when they started the first 391 was when the Texas Transporter came through. Now there's like 9 of them south of us. They're all down around Houston area. We have nothing on the north. We're the first ones up north to do this. And all the counties in between we've all been coordinating, we've been working together, all the different groups. We're sharing information and documentation, and we're organizing all up and down. And all the county commissioners, all the county judges have been involved, even Carol Bush has been involved. I mean, I don't know if anybody, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, who supports us. I met a few people who like it. You know, of course, it's gonna go through the property, and they think they're gonna make money, this one lady. But, yes,
Marty, did you know what possible services that you might forfeit from the Council of Governments, just in case that comes up and they're trying to debate the issue with you?
what do you mean
know,
with,
But you said that be prepared for like the council's governments to come at you and say, we're not going to provide these services, but that really, so far, you haven't found anything.
we haven't found that yet, but
Anyway.
they experienced it down there. Their cogs came after them down there when they created it. They were telling all these cities, you're not gonna get this benefit, that benefit, you're not, you know, threatening. I mean, because, you know, they're arrogant, they're powerful.
If I were gonna prepare for the debate with those people, I would want to know ahead of time what services they might throw at you. You know, what services they may say, you're gonna lose this financial assistance. I would want to know that ahead of time to be prepared.
We've already studied what they told them down there. They gave us all their
So you
documentation.
know what some of them are?
And
those
yeah, they gave us
services?
the arguments, they gave us the samples of the bylaws we have to have. It's gonna be a government agency, this 391. They've given us the resolutions the cities have to put together. They shared a lot of information with us that made our job a lot easier. Hey, someone in the back here had a question.
How many congressional districts are involved with it?
All the ones between Houston and Dallas.
Okay, you know the specific number?
Well, the Birdwell and 2 other senators put out a letter opposing it. John Ray, let me tell you what, that man has been amazing. That man has turned around, and they had a meeting, all of them up and down between, with Texas, and Texas gave all these documents out that they requested, and he gave them to us. And you remember, Ken and Morris, they wouldn't tell us who the companies were behind us at this public meetings. Well, the documents that he gave us, it opened up the door, a Pandora's box. When we opened it up, we found all these other companies that this one guy out of Harris County, this former judge, has been has created, and it all comes down to, at the end, he gets 20% of his high-speed rail, the Japanese company gets 80%. And it's right, you can see right there in the documentation, and it's like, you gotta be kidding me. And yet the Japanese company who's putting the money up, the bank is putting the money up. So that's gonna be 80% of what they're gonna get eminent domain, and that money they make is gonna have to go back to Japan. So that just gives you a runaround here. Yes.
I'm gonna take a shot. The question that you asked, I don't believe we gave you the answer to it before. When we've gone back and looked through the annual report that COG publishes, it's a rather thick document, and it talks about hundreds of millions of dollars in annual programs that they're doing among 16 counties in North Texas. And everything from Meals on Wheels, that they're involved in police officer training. It runs the gambit of everything you can imagine, in addition to transportation projects. Those currently, a commissioner has left, but most of those are running through the county commissioners, and that's where they will ask for the community to put up, or the county to put up X amount of dollars to get so much in support coming back. By not, as part of the strategy, we have not gone to the county specifically for that reason, because we don't want to alienate that piece. But the communities and the cities that we're talking about right now, they're not a specific recipient of those particular things. They get some from the county that come through, but they're not specifically receiving it. So we're learning, but to answer your question, that information is online that you can see what all those different services are. So we have spent time going through that, and I'm trying to understand what the risk is, risk benefit. And we felt that the benefit of being able to have a voice at the table, instead of having one against 13, just briefly, the organizations that there's 13 executive members over 16 counties. We have one member for 3 counties, being Ellis, Kaufman, and Johnson. And that's the mayor, Waxahachie is the representative for those 3 counties.
Well,
That's all
I
we
know
have.
so many people in economic development, which has been my field, you know, we recruited help from the Council of Governments because they have done some good things.
Yeah.
But I would just, my point was not to disagree with you in any way. My point was to say, let's know what they might be asked to give up so we can be prepared in advance.
We're not really taking anything from them,
To
in a
counter
sense.
that.
We're not taking anything
No,
from them.
take
We're in a
something
sense that
You understand?
I
I was
absolutely
just
understand.
if they look at it the right way, in a sense, we're actually gonna, we could be an asset to them if they want us to be, but the experience down south hasn't been that way. Over time, some of them have accepted and adopted them, they all work together. But I wanna make a point here. Gary Bennett here was the president, executive board of the president of the COG in 1985 and 86. And he has endorsed what we are doing, which gives us a lot of credibility. So I'll let him speak.
I just wanted to say that, yeah, I've been president, I've been on the board of COG for several years, and was president back in the 80s, so a lot of things have changed. The primary thing that's going to be, Ken did a pretty good job of summarizing a lot of it. That if the county or any cities are seeking any sort of federal grant money, that has to be funneled through COG. And it has to be approved by COG before it will be dispersed to any cities or counties. That's a primary weapon there. But here's the deal that is reality. COG is composed of 196 governmental entities, the Metroplex and the outlying region. Navarre County is the furthest one, south. That is a member of the North Central Texas Council of Governments. But when you look at the demographics, the majority of the population that composes COG sits in the Metroplex and to those counties to the north. So that's where their focus is going to be, because they're saying, where do we need to provide the most services and attention? That's where it's going. But what is now happening is that as the north area is filling up the population, you're seeing more and more population coming down this way. And that's what's leading to a lot of these toll road issues coming in. The other practical effect is that when they're looking at working with traffic planning, movement of people planning, which COG does as a big central part of their operation, they would normally contact those entities and try to work with them to avoid as much disruption as possible. I haven't seen that that's been greatly the case in these toll roads, and this will probably mean that they'll be less likely to do that. The good thing is that with these 391s that are being created, that gives you a voice at the table, and you can demand your own information, and you can demand certain things be done. It may not be that you get everything, but you can sure slow it down and cause them a lot of headache and heartache. I'm going to be drafting a letter to go out as a former president of COG, supporting this effort and really saying that this is not right for Ellis County, because it's not. And so that's good. I've got this explanation.
Do you remember when we had, years ago, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, they had this high-speed rail was gonna come through Ellis County before? How long ago has that been?
That was, if I recall, it's around 93 or 94 when I remember.
And I know we had, people meet here almost in the streets here opposing that thing. And somehow it was stopped then, same thing, different people, I guess. It was stopped then. It's been stopped before, why can't it be stopped this
The
time?
thing that bothers me more about this than any of the other other attempts, unlike the other leg of this thing, which is scheduled to go from Dallas to the south, which is federally funded, as I understand. This stretch between Houston and Dallas is private. It's a private company doing this. That will obtain federal eminent domain authority through the Federal Rail Authority. And that's wrong when you allow a private company to be able to come in with eminent domain and take people's property like that. What's going to happen is they're a profit-making corporation, which means they're going to try and cut it as slim as possible what they're going to have to pay out in this land use stuff. So that's just wrong. As far as I'm concerned, that just violates the entire spirit of the Constitution for them to be able to do that, especially when it's a Japanese company that's behind putting this in. And so anyway, I appreciate the work that all these guys have done. They've really done a tremendous job in gearing up all these other counties to oppose this thing.
Well, I was thinking about this, Sandy, if you had a field on the other side of the track, I guess you could get on the train in Dallas and go to Houston. Put your tractor on and come back and get off and, you know, you're
Well,
on the other
and then we
side.
take
Something that hasn't been mentioned.
Carrier chickens are crazy.
Emergency response ambulances, fire trucks, and the whole bit are going to be affected. I mean, it's going to be a bad situation.
We're looking for a good picture of a feral hog on the front end of a pickup truck to try to show what would happen to a 205-mile-an-hour train meeting up with a feral hog, because an 8-foot fence isn't going to stop a feral hog from getting on those tracks.
500-pound feral hog.
And we're building other emotional aspects of this thing too. It kind of goes along with it. We're looking for some good big game hunters to be working feral hogs in that train. So maybe we can sell tickets for that. There we go.
Kid, it was my understanding that the proposed, there was only going to be 2 places in Ellis County where you could actually cross.
That's right.
We've asked, and that's what we were told was possibly 2. But they're not looking at adding others, and no terminals in Ellis County. And terminals, no stops. There are going to be basically no stops except potentially 1 in Bryan College Station. But that's because once they get their speed up, they don't want to let it down. But that's correct. Potentially 2, don't know where. They haven't really set on the location of the route, except utility route, as Marty already identified. It's kind of up in the air. And the other aspect is there's 1 lane going down, 1 set of tracks, and there's another set of tracks coming back. They're not on the same set of tracks. So what's the distance between them and the other sides, so you have potentially 2 different aspects.
And that's just the one, not the second one.
And you mentioned the reason they told you why they don't want to have stops in Ellis County is to limit the time of the trip to 90 minutes. Is that right?
That's correct, because their cost-benefit analysis, their economic study, doesn't hold up if they don't get it, if it takes longer than 90 minutes, then they can't sell it to the people.
And they're saying the tickets are gonna be 100 to 350, and we know it's probably gonna be more like 250 or 350 a ticket, so who's gonna ride it? you know, government people, lawyers, you know, politicians, I mean,
I'll tell you,
it's not any line for the average man.
for those who are interested, if you contact Marty, we have published a 14-page assessment which talks about the economic impacts to the area. We started out objectively looking for positive economic as well as negative economic. We only found negative for the county, but that document is available. It answers a lot of the questions like
Yeah,
you.
it's in a PDF form, if anybody wants my email address, I can send it to you.
There's a question in the back, I'm sorry.
I know it says 90 minutes. What is the time length to get there, get through security? What is the security like? You have to get groped and x-ray like the airport or what?
Yes, you have to do those things, and that's why 90 minutes is so important.
Isn't it already
Add
cheaper
all
to
this other
fly?
time on, and if you start adding more travel time on, then it's not, it isn't faster than going by plane or other methods.
Well, even if it was faster, it's still not right. You know, the ends don't justify the means. We're Republicans, we understand that, or we should.
Obviously, this is an emotional issue for everybody, and I'm sure we're holding up the parade, but if any other questions, I know Marty and Gary Morris, myself, will be glad to answer questions, tell you where we are, what we're trying to do, and share some of those thoughts with you. As he said, we're trying to keep it kind of quiet for right now until we get these things done, but you know, it's open public information now, so.
Anyone have anything else?
Hey,
Go ahead, Marie.
John Ray and another person have co-authored a bill, House Bill 1889, which is designed to stop this high-speed rail and also to prevent private companies from using eminent domain to get rid of it. And I talked to John's office today, and they said they would appreciate any phone calls or letters, because the more people they can claim have contacted them and are in favor of their bill, the better results that they will get from the national railroad.
We're glad to see him do that, but the problem we know already is that the railroad lobby is so powerful. We're not too sure where that bill's gonna end up, and that's why we're all doing all we can, because we're gonna fight maybe.
Well, I understand there's not just one string to the bow,
Right.
but it doesn't hold. Pick
Sure.
up your cell phone, there's no extra charge to go down there and say.
Absolutely, we need to work it together.
Right, all angles.
Anyone else? Penny?
If anybody would like to know what the COG is really, because many of us don't know, there is a tremendous presentation put on by a gentleman who studied this for years. It could come and present that. His name is Zach Maxwell, and he's very knowledgeable to let you know what the COG really empowers. So anybody who would like to hear about that, let Denise know, and we'll see if we can make it done.
If this gentleman wants to come, we'd like him to come later on, because we don't want to be attacking the COG, maybe give that appearance while we're trying to organize down here. We don't want them on us. We want to just kind of keep it low key.
He just explains
Yeah, I know,
what he
but,
does.
yeah.
He's not working for them or against them, he's just showing what they do.
Anybody have anything else? Meeting adjourned.
Penny, I understand.